There you go.
Ooh, that's it.
Okay, thank you. And
You wanna-
present.
Pause that while we
Okay, yeah, welcome to the presentation. Yeah, thanks for joining me. So today, I just want to give you a bit more information about what I do, and also, some tips as well to help you along with your own marketing as well. So, right. So a bit about me first. I was born in Manchester. These are the things which you probably don't like about me. Born in Manchester. Man City supporter. Been married to Julie for 16 years, so Julie needs a medal for that. I've worked in direct sales for 18 years. I mean, that's particularly, I suppose, relevant to what I do now, because I think we're probably all old enough to remember life before the internet, and when you had to kind of be out there and talk to people, get noticed, shout and say, look at me, phone people, like we were talking about before. Jim was mentioning about youngsters not phoning people anymore. So in the old days, that was all part of marketing, and it still is, of course, very important part of marketing. I've worked as a therapist and counsellor as a volunteer, and I started Mike's Online Academy actually back in 2011. That's when it started off really quite small as more of a hobby, but it's kind of picked up a lot since then, because I've always been interested in marketing. Always been interested in like what makes people or motivates people to buy something. I mean, I was one of these people who always bought stuff by direct mail, even if it was dodgy or not. There was, I always bought something. I was quite fascinated by the process that they used to sell things. So my services, if you've been listening closely, my services are Facebook ads, Google ads, local SEO, SEO meaning search engine optimization, and also I do digital marketing training on how to use the above services as well. Now, I just want to go into some of the reasons why you would use marketing, advertising. I mean, to some people in this meeting, this is like teaching Grandad to suck eggs, because Annette and Jim, I think, are masters at this sort of thing. But it's good to, but they in their business, they don't necessarily promote this side of it. So I'm kind of doing that bit. So the first thing that you come across, especially in 2022, is getting attention. Because if there's one thing that can really make you struggle with your business, is getting attention, because there's a lot of competition out there for a start, and the internet has widened things up completely, in a good way, because it means that it's a level playing field to a certain extent. But obviously now there's more competition. One way around. And also you have information overwhelm, which people suffer from, because people, again, a bit nostalgic, but do you remember the days when we had 4 TV stations, 4 radio stations, or 5 or 6 radio stations, and newspapers with like 2 main ones, Mirror and the Sun, and that was it. Now people are bombarded with information from all sides. So it's from the internet, from TV, 24-hour TV. I mean, that was such a novelty when that came out. 24-hour TV. Now it's just taken for granted. I used to stand at the end of for the national anthem when when it closed down for midnight. I remember those days. But now it just goes on, and people are just and also the news is all negative. People say this and so and so's died, inflation's going up. bore, etc., etc., as well as advertising messages intermingled with that. So it's it's pretty, can be pretty challenging sometimes to market yourself and your business. Also, now you have people with short attention spans as well. So you try and get attention, but people's attention spans are getting shorter, unfortunately. Mainly because of the overwhelm of messages that is being put out there, and also with people wanting things instantly now. There's an element of that too, I think, because I mean now, on Spotify, I can just play any song I want from the last 40 years. When I was a kid, I had to kind of dream about doing that, which is amazing. It's amazing, really. It's like being in heaven for a music fan, because you can just find any track you want. But in the past, you had to kind of, search it out. You had to go through all these dusty record shops and try and find that record. So I think that's an element of it too. I mean, it's good in the sense that things are moving faster, because I think the economy needs to move fast, but also people attention spans are shorter. Now this isn't a problem, this is more of the solution. I took this photograph of me the other day. I hope you don't mind me using it. I know, actually it's Jim. Actually, this is Jim. This is a photograph of Jim working out. But talk about repetition. Repetition is something which has been a bit of a saviour, really, certainly for my business, and the realising repetition actually isn't a bad thing. I mean, the context here obviously is building muscle. You have to repeat again and again your actions to be able to build muscle and get fit. You have to do things again and again to make a difference. We meet every Tuesday in order to actually make an impression on other people. The heart keeps beating again and again to keep you going. The world revolves around the sun again and again. It doesn't just stop. So repetition is almost like a universal law, which is basically one of the elements of survival, really, of how you kind of survive. And in marketing, repetition is very important indeed. I don't mean just pestering someone on the phone every 5 minutes. It's got to be used with intelligence as well, obviously. But just making that point with that image there, repetition isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing as well. Now, how do you get someone's attention? How do you rise above like the massive overwhelm of communications? Well, there's this concept here of the customer journey. Now, I had a caveat into this, in that lots of businesses are different. So I think most of our businesses would fall into this category where people would follow this journey pretty much. Obviously, if you're a plumber, electrician or something, and the lights go out, or you've got a leak in the house, then the customer journey is pretty quick. You just pick up the phone or look on Google, pick up your phone and call the plumber. But if it's something if your business is something you need to get someone sold on the idea of what you do before they convert, then this is a journey that people take. And it's based on the old idea of the sales funnel as well. It's wide at the top, narrow at the bottom. So your first step is brand awareness. And brand awareness can be things like Facebook posts, blog posts, networking, getting your face seen around about town, Then there's subscribe. That's the next step up. So the person's, as you can see, you're building a relationship with the prospect steadily as you go on. So if you get them to subscribe to, say, a newsletter or a webinar, then you're building that relationship. If they're willing to spend time with you or give their email and phone number, that means that they're a bit closer to you in the customer journey. And also it means once they subscribe, you then can obviously repeat that message. So they get to the next step, which would be to convert, to actually buy something, to purchase something, or it could be also time-wise. It doesn't have to be purchasing money, but spend time with something. There's also points beyond that as well, beyond convert, but that's for another presentation. But I think the main steps is brand awareness, just making people aware of you, who you are. Sometimes if you go in too early and try and convert, then people just ignore you. But if you put in the brand awareness, maybe get them subscribed to a newsletter so they become more familiar with you, and then convert, or they're more likely to convert because the prospect is a lot warmer. So I'll beat myself to it here. Yeah, so an example of brand awareness, a blog post on your website, a helpful video, or a testimonial that makes people kind of take notice, especially if the blog post is solving a problem that people have, or the video solves a particular problem, because you're going to get people's attention by doing that. And the testimonial as well, especially if it's a testimonial they can get maybe recorded by someone on video, but it can be a written testimonial too. Those are ways we're just breaking through some of the, all the messages that people are getting. So yeah, subscribe, examples of subscribe, newsletters, webinar, free gift as well, or free consultation or something like that. If you get people to, engage with your brand, then that's going to make them a lot more likely to actually convert, because they've actually, they've got some sort of relationship with you at that point. Also worth pointing out that usually there are 8 touch points before a person from contacting someone to the point where someone converts. So I think in the past it was a lot less, but now the number of times is starting to increase. So if you can use brand awareness and use a subscribe part of the journey, just to kind of get those 7 or 8 touch points in, then it'll be a more natural journey to those 8 touch points. And interestingly, Google are also using that principle as well with their new ad systems. They're using touch points as well. They're using, in the old days, Google used search ads. Well, they still use search ads, but now they're using YouTube ads to promote businesses as well. And YouTube ads aren't necessarily, people typing in something and they want to buy something. It can be also about building brand awareness or subscribing to something. I mean, many of the YouTube videos I watch, they start off with the ad, and they're either asking you to watch their video or to subscribe to something. And then later on, you'll probably get another ad from Google asking you to buy something probably after that. Yeah, and convert. So this can be achieved by, offering a special offer, a sales ad, going direct, going for the sale, or remarketing ad as well. Remarketing is a powerful feature of Facebook ads and Google ads, in that you can send, if someone's visited your website, you can then target them again. And again, it increases the amount of touch points that people interact with your business before they purchase. So that's so you've got brand awareness, subscribe, and convert. And to achieve those things, it's using a mixture of organic. When it comes to internet marketing, it's a mixture of organic and paid. Basically, it doesn't have to be all paid ads to do the brand awareness, for example. It can be just putting posts out there, making people aware that of your products, but not necessarily in a selling way, because with Facebook and Instagram, it doesn't really work when you put out a post, an organic post. It's just selling something. It tends to be, you need to be educational. I think there's a saying that your post has to be educational or inspire in some way, or be funny or be humorous. It's got entertain in some way. Then that's part of the brand awareness. But that's then the top of the funnel. Then you bring people in, and then they're more likely to purchase. So I think that's it for today. But any questions?
Thanks, Mike. That was great. Can I just ask your opinion about using other people's comments and things like that on blog posts or on your website in terms of ownership? If they've made that comment to you, do you need to particularly get their permission to use it? It's not in an email. We had a guy phoned up. We had an order to Canada, and a very nice guy. It was just for himself. It's not a business, and he put in a substantial order. And he left a very nice voicemail saying that this is the best stuff he's ever used, and so on and so on, which we'd like to. I emailed him to thank you for your comments. Would you mind if we used it, clearly anonymized, and whatever, but FG Winnipeg, Canada. He hasn't responded, but do you have a view about needing people's permissions in this sort of GDPR world we live in?
Well, if someone's left a review on Google or Facebook, they've put their review in the public domain.
Yeah.
So they can't really complain if someone else uses it. If
This was a phone message, though.
A phone message. I suppose if you anonymize it, I don't see any issues there, to be honest. And I think there's more of an issue if you give his name.
Oh yeah,
it's something like that. But if they put it on Google or Facebook, I think that they're fair game to be, it's fair game to use their details and their reviews. I use them. If I get a review, you just put it out there, because it's so important to get reviews.
And can I ask you, Mike, also as a follow-on, have you used Trustpilot? The free version is a little limited, I think. The non-free version is really quite expensive, but clearly it does give a reflection of the quality of your products or your business. But do you have any experience with the free version, and does it help?
Yeah, I think the free version helps. I don't use it myself, but I've got clients who use it quite heavily. Especially, I mean, Rick Stein uses it, and also there's a guttering company I work with in London, and they use Trustpilot all the time. It's a really important. But I think the thing with Trustpilot is it's because they verify the reviews. They're very transparent about where the reviews are coming from. People trust the reviews a lot more on Trustpilot. But that said, any review is better than no review. So don't feel you have to pay for Trustpilot particularly. But certainly the free version, I think you just have to keep using it. I've known people sign up to Trustpilot for free, but then never work on getting reviews on there. Then that defeats the object of it, really.
And we have a review option on our website, but most customers just don't we've had one or two, but very few people actually put the effort to go back to the website, maybe after they've used the product, and then say, oh, that's really nice, or that didn't work for me, or whatever. So it's it need to try and promote that
Yeah,
more, you know.
when I buy something from Argos or Amazon, I always get an email saying, you know, please leave a review, and that's how you do it. You just have to be proactive with reviews.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else got other questions at all? No. A couple of things I've got to mention. Firstly, thanks, Mike. I think what you got across there is a changing world, and whether we agree or with the changes, for want of a better word, we've just got to understand what they are, where the world is going. So we've just got to run with it.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing, really. And the other thing is, someone mentioned to me last week something called Google Guarantee. Are you aware of that? Have you come across that?
It's something that's been rolled out by Google, where they check all your, I suppose, all your verify your business, etc., etc. It's not rolled out to everyone, but it's probably on its way. So basically, when you appear in the search results, you get like a tick. I think it is. Get a tick on your listing, just to say that you've been verified.
Yeah, I did look into it because he was saying that he's got someone that does very well out of it, and I looked into it. And in this country, it's trades only. Google Guarantee is trades like electricians, plumbers, gardeners, landscape artists, that sort of thing.
It's a bit like Checkatrade. Trying to
that's right.
muscle in on that side of things. Yeah.
And it seems in the States they've got a service called Google Screen for professional services. That's only in the States at the moment. So I guess watch this space.
Yeah, if it happens in the States and it's successful, they'll bring it over here.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks for that, Deed. Thanks very much, Deed. Obviously, welcome everyone. Rob Worth, you've got me just pulling things together because Rob Worth is enjoying France still at the moment. I think what I'll also do is, with regard to future speakers, that's right, so we know what's going on